Hello, everyone. This is the most magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I will be doing some raids with Raiding with me, Beak. And not only will I be doing some raids in today's video, I'm also going to be going over my spoiler review of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1, Episode 2, Gone. Yes, I know I'm a week behind, and I'm caught up, but as far as the spoiler reviews, I'm going to be a week behind regardless, so just keep that in mind. I am all caught up on the spin-off, but as far as the spoiler reviews, I am a week behind on that regardless. But yeah, let's not waste any more time. We got a raid tournament going on, and actually, before I get into the spoiler review, I'm gonna talk NFL for a minute or so, just to, you know, because we have some actual news regarding the NFL that's not Kansas City Chiefs or Taylor Swift related for once. For now. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump into Raiding with me, Beak. Alright, so we got some NFL news regarding two quarterbacks and a running back, and where their new teams are going to be. Alright, we got Kirk Cousins. His new home, or rather, I should say his new team, is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have signed Kirk Cousins to... Wow, I don't even know how that bullshit happened. That was rigged. But anyway, anywho. Okay. Now, regarding Kirk Cousins being signed with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have gave him a 4-year deal worth $180 million. Whew. I mean, I don't know if Kirk Cousins is worth $180 million. I mean, what has he done with his career? And nothing of note that would make it worth 180. I mean, we'll see how that works out for Atlanta. I mean, if I'm going to be honest about Kirk Cousins, you know, the Atlanta Falcons certainly got an upgrade at quarterback compared to what they had last season. But, don't assume that means they're going to win the division and get to the Super Bowl and all that with Kirk Cousins. But I will say one positive thing about Kirk Cousins. He is an upgrade over what the Falcons had last year. But I'm going to be honest, Kirk Cousins is without a doubt just an average quarterback who is just a little bit better than the bad quarterbacks. But 180 though, we'll see if that gamble pays off for Atlanta. I mean, yeah, we'll see, but we'll find out. Now, Russell Wilson, he's got a new home, a new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, that's a sentence I never thought I would say, but yeah, Russell Wilson is now the Pittsburgh Steelers' new quarterback. Now, these deals are technically not confirmed just yet, but it's safe to say that these two teams, it's safe to say that these two teams are going to get these quarterbacks. Now, for the running back I know that is now a part of the Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley. He was the running back for the Giants, but now he's over there with the Eagles. we'll see how that goes. I mean, Saquon Barkley's rookie season, was it? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm not a Giants fan, so I have no idea if his rookie season was good or not. It might have been. You know what? I really don't know. I don't really care, but who knows? Maybe he will be good for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as far as Russell Wilson being the Steelers quarterback, it is certainly an upgrade over what they had, but how far can Russell Wilson really take them? I mean, you got to think about it. They have Lamar Jackson. They have to compete against Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens and a returning Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. So, and then I suppose they have Bill Deshaun Cosby and the Cleveland Browns to have to worry about as well. But anybody that supports Cleveland right now while they have Deshaun Cosby as their quarterback, why are you supporting Deshaun Watson Cosby? He's too busy worrying about going to get massages versus winning. But anyway, I won't say no more on that. But yeah, Russell Wilson definitely is an upgrade for the Steelers compared to last year, but they got Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and Joe Burrow and the Bengals to have to contend with. So, don't know how well that's going to work out. We'll have to see. And as far as any other quarterback signings, I'm not sure as of right now. That's all that's been announced pretty much. And I don't know what the hell New England is going to do for a quarterback, because, I mean, they traded Mac Jones over there to the Jaguars, which he might be a decent backup for them. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what New England is going to do? I mean, right now they suck. I love them. They are still my team, but I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to doubt it. They suck right now. And I don't know how I feel about the new head coach. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I remember Gerard Mayo being an alright player, but as far as him being a coach, I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Okay, enough about NFL. So I figured I would give y'all, for those that don't want to hear any spoilers, I just wanted to give y'all a couple minutes of action and a couple minutes heads up before I actually got into the review. So yeah, for those that want to, for those that don't want to hear any spoilers, this is your cue to click off the video and wait to catch up and come back if you want to, or if you're caught up, or if you just don't care about spoilers, you can stick around. So, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's my spoiler review of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1, Episode 2, Gone. Now, before I actually get into the episode, this is something I should have mentioned last week. This is a little quick detail that's going to come up. Let me go ahead and mention it now. Now, the whole A and B system that the CRM has, it's simple as if they declare you an A, they send you pretty much out there to fight walkers and pretty much die because they consider you leadership material, they consider you strong. But if you're a B, they see you as kind of a strain on the resources, but you don't have to go out there and fight. You get to live in the community, pretty much. That's kind of how I see B. being presented, and we'll talk about the whole... Okay, so let's see. I have 5 different topics as far as like characters. So obviously Michonne, this is a Michonne heavy based episode, obviously. And then we have a new character, Nat. Not Matt, but Nat. And then I feel bad about this one. I know they probably said their names, but I have one just talking about these 2 people whose names I cannot remember. I just have them wrote down as the couple. I feel bad about that. They are genuinely good people. But anyway, okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the episode starts, and it's been 6 years after the bridge, and Michonne, she meets up with this new group that is always traveling. It seems like they never stop for nothing. They never stop, and if anyone gets left behind, they say, screw them. You can either catch up or... oh well. That's pretty much what it is. Like, yeah, so this group, they are always on the move. They have trucks, horses. There's the leader of them, whose name I done forgot. I think Elle or Elsa, something like that. But anyway, the leader, she's in this trailer, and it's being pulled by horses or a vehicle. But the point is, they're always on the move. And she, Michonne, that is, she brings these 2 people that I'm going to call the couple because I didn't forget their name. And they are genuinely good people, so I feel kind of bad that I don't remember their names. But anyway, they're not in the episode long, as we'll get into it. So, back in season 10, when Michonne leaves the show in her final episode and she runs across those 2 people, she brings those 2 people back to that group that's always moving. And she pretty much tells the leader that, look, I was out looking for someone, and I just happened to come across 2 of your people. You know, there's no agenda here, nothing. And I just figured I would bring them back and be on my way. Simple as that. And the leader, Elle or Elsa, whatever, she tries to pretty much, she tries to convince Michonne to stay. And Michonne is like, nah, she's like trying to be nice about it. Like, it's impressive that, you and your community, what y'all have set up, but I'm not interested. I'm trying to find Rick. She doesn't say that by name, but that's what she just wants to drop them off and do a good deed and get out of there. And that's when this character, Nat, he comes in shouting and screaming that, he's fed up with the system that his community have set in place, that, he tells Elsa or Ellie or whatever her name is, anyway, the E-girl, but anyway, Nat, he tells that, I tried to go after... who we find out the couple, the woman whose sister is the leader, and her boyfriend, not the leader's boyfriend, but the other girl's boyfriend. Anyway, Nat comes up in there, and he tells the leader, look, I tried to go find your sister. He says, I tried to go find them, but the rear guard stopped me. And he's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm packing my crap up, and I'm done. I don't, I'm fed up with the system of always leaving people to die. And then that's when, what's her name? The lady, says Nat, and that's like, he's relieved that she was rescued. by Michonne. So he's like, hey, you want to ride VIP with us? You say the word. And Michonne wants a horse to get. She wants a horse to get out of there, and pretty much Nat says, like, I'll get you a horse, come on with me. And, he puts his foot down and says that, she's getting a GD horse. And that's final. That's the end of it. So, as they step out of the trailer, they go to a certain part of the... Okay, they go to a certain part of the little group. But anyway, Michonne is mentioning she needs to get to Bridger's Terminal. And Bridger's Terminal is that big boat where she went into and found Rick's boots and the phone with her and Judith's picture. So she's hoping to find that boat and hoping to see where the boat is going to go. So they go up out of the office, and the leader, Elsa, whatever her name is, tries to tell Michonne that, look, you don't want to go up north because there's a migration of walkers, at least like 1 million walkers, pretty much as she says. They'll come from the north, and she's like, in a little while, in a couple of months, they'll go away. Why don't you stay with us until then? And Michonne is like, nah, I'm not waiting. I'm going out there. My children, they have a father that they need to see, so she's not having it. And Nat, he pretty much backs her up and says, no, you know what, she's getting a horse, that's final, that's the end of it. So he's gonna go get her a horse, but Nat ends up convincing Michonne to stay at least one night with them. And it's probably a good thing he did that, because he ends up equipping Michonne with armor and other goodies, as we will get to. And Michonne, she leaves at dawn like she said she was going to, and she spends the night with them, and she's out of there, and she's heading north, and there's like a ton of walkers. Like, there's probably like 1 million. Let's just go with 1,100,000 walkers. I mean, it's a lot of walkers. And Nat gives Michonne this device that shoots these little rockets. Well, I mean, it's not little, but I mean, it's not exactly that big. It's big enough to fit in a backpack. So she puts one of the rockets in this device, and she shoots it at the walkers, and it blows up. But then this walker with like these gas cans and all this other stuff is going to explode, and it does, and the walker's head just comes flying off, and it hits Michonne in the shoulder and knocks her completely off the horse, which is kind of wild. And the spine is still attached to the walker's head, and he's got 2 gold front teeth. Which, I mean, I don't know if he was like some kind of gas station worker or if they were put on him. I have no idea, but he blows up, knocks Michonne completely off the horse, and then one side you see this purple smoke coming up, and then another side you see this purple smoke coming up, and that's when Nat and others plus the couple, they come and help her out. And they say that they pretty much they want to help Michonne out to try to reach Rick, and that they were also tired of the system of always leaving people left to die. So they just said screw it, and we're just gonna up and leave. They can go on if they want to. So they decide to rest up for the night. Okay, so they try to they rest up for the night, And it's nighttime, and the guy, we're talking about the couple specifically right now. So the guy says, to his girlfriend, I'm gonna go get you something to eat that you need to eat. And then he's insistent on her needing to eat. So it's revealed that the girlfriend is pregnant, and she talks about how she was craving honey, and she says that he found her in a tree eating honey, so he was going to go surprise her to one of the, to a grocery store or a big box store to try to go find her some honey. And that's when Michonne found them two out in the middle of nowhere. And the boyfriend, he hurt his ankle. I'm not sure how he hurt his ankle exactly, but his ankle is a little messed up. But, I mean, they are both not going to make it out of this episode. So, I don't really have much on them because they're not really in the episode all that long. And as they're traveling, it's the next day. Michonne tries to reach Judith through the radio, but to no avail. And she still believes, Michonne that is, she believes that Judith and all of them are still at Alexandria, which, I mean, she doesn't know any different at that point. But at that point, I'm pretty sure they're all at the Commonwealth, if I'm assuming the timeline is correct, which sometimes the timeline is a little muddled, but I would say it's safe to say that they are moving to the Commonwealth, or they're already at the Commonwealth at that point, and that's why she can't reach them. So, okay, so they're traveling a little bit. I want to make sure... Let's see, I want to make sure I got all this straight before I get into the next point. I don't want to accidentally skip ahead. Okay, so Michonne, Nat, the couple, and a couple of other people, they get to this town, and Michonne and Nat have a discussion about how his mom had this stepdad, how I guess his dad must have died, or no. His dad, his real father, walked out because he couldn't handle having a little child, like a midget. That's one thing I forgot to mention about Nat. He is a midget. I'm guessing that would be an okay term to... Anyway, that, he's a midget. It is what it is. It's fine. He has a lot more going on for him than the couple, but okay. Anyway, Michonne and Nat have a discussion. He's talking and says that his actual father walked out because he didn't want to handle having a short child. So she ends up getting together with some guy named Danger or something like that, and that's his stepfather. And at first, Nat, he tells her that, I didn't like him at first, but then, he would... Nat would go out into the woods and burn things and break things, but his stepfather actually encouraged him and helped him. Instead of burning things, he was starting to make things, and at first, Nat didn't really like his stepfather, but after some time being around him, he actually grew to appreciate him, even to love him to a degree. So, yeah, even though he didn't like him at first, he grew to eventually like him because, unlike his actual father, he was actually encouraging him to build stuff. Like, Nat says he built a timer to make sure that, to remind his stepfather to turn off the stove, and just like simple but effective stuff. And okay, so we got through that. Then, as they're walking through this little town, one of the CRM helicopters notices that there's a group that's nearby, and the helicopter is going one direction, but the helicopter turns back around, only for the helicopter to drop chlorine gas on all of them. It's a yellow puff smoke, but they have to cover their noses and mouth, and it's a pretty bad part. And as far as what the crap does, and at first I thought it was some kind of like dirty bomb or something like that, but Nat, I'm pretty sure, says it was chlorine gas that was dropped on them, and they're all coughing and panicking. And my guess as to why the CRM did that is because Michonne and all of them were getting close to the East Coast CRM location without them even really knowing it. So the CRM is like, yeah, we gotta shut that shit down. We gotta eliminate them. That way they don't find us. And so Nat, Michonne, and the couple, they all get into a building, and their noses are bleeding and their faces are red, and it's just like, ooh, like, what does that shit do to them, right? So they all get in, and the pregnant woman, she's looking the absolute worst of the four. So yeah, this is where, they tie down, they find a bed. I guess they find some kind of shopping mall, I'm assuming, or like some kind of plaza, something like that, and they find a bed, and they tie the pregnant woman to the bedpost because she is absolutely looking the worst. She's got foam coming out of her mouth. I mean, it's just, the whole scenario is like, blah. Like, anyway, so unfortunately, both of them, the pregnant lady and her boyfriend, yeah, they both die from the chlorine gas. And Michonne, she says, I'll be right back, that there was a medical plaza, that there were oxygen tanks, because Nat says that they need air because the chlorine gas has burnt out their lungs. And like, you can tell in their performance that they're having a hard time breathing. I mean, it's really bad. And she comes back with the tanks, and that's when she discovers, the pregnant lady, she died. And she tells the boyfriend before she leaves, don't lay next to her. What do you think he does? I want to feel bad, but it might have been due to exhaustion, and plus, where they were just seriously messed up by the chlorine gas. But she specifically says, don't lay down next to her. And she comes back to find the pregnant lady is a walker, and on the other side of the pillow there is blood, and she's got blood around her mouth as if she had bitten somebody. And yeah, she bit the boyfriend. She goes to the pregnant lady, puts her walker down, and then she goes to try to find the boyfriend and Nat, and she finds Nat hiding behind this counter, and he's caught the top of the counter on fire. It's like a circular counter, and he's caught the top of it on fire to prevent the boyfriend Walker. This is so weird, but I forgot their names. But Michonne puts him down, the boyfriend Walker, and Nat says, I couldn't do it, not him. And so he was pretty smart setting the top of that counter on fire. That way the Walker couldn't get to him, because, you got to remember, as far as strength, Nat is the weakest because he's so small compared to the other four. So, that was some ingenious thinking on his part to to prevent the walker from being able to get to him at that time. So Michonne puts down the couple. So there we go. The couple story is pretty much done and dusted. So I don't have to keep on calling them the couple anymore. So, yeah, so they're in that plaza, they're recovering, they have the tanks breathing through the tanks to get air, because he says that our lungs have been burnt out, and, Nat and the couple pretty much tell her that, if you can, you need to turn back, you need to just go back home to your babies, to your children. And Michonne is like, oh, hell no, I'm not giving up. She doesn't say that, but you can see it in her face. I've went this far already. I'm not stopping now. So, Nat ends up agreeing to go. Yeah, Nat ends up agreeing to go with both. I mean, not both. It's only Michonne and Nat. So Nat ends up agreeing to go with Michonne all the way to Bridger's terminal to see about that boat, and both of them end up getting better, and they end up reaching Bridger's terminal, and that's when we see that same boat that had Rick's boots and the phones has been pretty much demolished. It's pretty much been destroyed. I don't know why I didn't think of using Eva and Ghost on Vance. But anyway, back to Bridger's terminal and the boat. And so Michonne sees the boat has been pretty much destroyed, and there's a bunch of corpses that have been burnt all around the area, and Michonne is like losing hope. She's thinking that Rick is one of them, and obviously that's not the case, and so they decide to spend the night, at least for one night, and Nat pretty much tells her that that you can believe that he's not gone, and you can still go back home. So Michonne has, at this point, she's given up hope that she's ever going to find Rick. So the next day, her and Nat are going to go back to Alexandria. She's pretty much given up hope at this point. And then as they're going, that's when Nat notices a CRM helicopter is in the vicinity, and that they're flying real low, right? This is the same Rick. The same Rick. This is the same helicopter with Rick and Okafor on it. And that's when Nat gets his, I don't know what that little device is called, but he has this device that shoots out these little rockets, and that's how the helicopter gets brought down in the first episode. Nat, he shoots down the helicopter. The first shot that hits Okafor, he's thinking, damn, that's a dud, but nah, clearly not. If you've seen the first episode, and the second one hits the helicopter, and then he fires another one, and it brings it completely down. And then that's when Michonne goes in. After the CRM soldiers and Rick get out of the helicopter, the CRM soldiers are firing at Michonne and Nat, but they both get down. And then after that, that's when Michonne goes in for the kill. She's going to kill all them CRM soldiers. And then when she finally gets to Rick, I have to say, when she takes the helmet off and sees that Rick is the last one, oh man, this scene, I gotta tell you, I've seen this episode twice already, and both times, I gotta admit, who wouldn't? But for those that have seen the episode, I just have to say, tears came to my eyes, just tears of happiness that both of them finally have reunited. It was such a oh man, it was such a sweet scene. It really, oh man, I balled up a lot more the first time, but the second time I still had some tears were coming through a little bit, but tears of not sadness but happiness, because it was such a sweet moment. It was a moment that we didn't know if we was ever going to see, but we finally got it. And I mean, if you didn't tear up a little bit at least, then you're a robot, in my opinion. But so they reunite, and well, Nat, you know, I will say about Nat, his voice at first was a little annoying, but as the episode plays out, I got past that pretty quickly, honestly, and he becomes a character that I kind of wanted to see what, you know, if he would have went on a little bit further to see exactly how, you know, what he would have done, but we don't get that answer because, well, Nat, he ends up getting shot by one of the CRM soldiers that Michonne thought she had killed, and he had one last effort, and that was to shoot the little guy. I mean, that was pretty bad, because I mean, I was beginning to kind of like Nat a little bit. I mean, I wanted to kind of see where his story would go, but this is The Walking Dead. But hey, we're here for the Rick and Michonne reunion, so I think that matters a lot more. So there you go. So yeah, Rick and Michonne reunites, and Michonne is like telling Rick, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go. And he's like telling her, no, more of them are coming, and you need to trust me. You need to say that you're not Michonne. You need to tell them that you are someone else from a different community that fell a long time ago, and you need to say that you were stumbling in the woods as the soldiers were being attacked, and you need to give me your sword. That way I can put it in Nat's hand to make it look like it wasn't Michonne's, even though it is. And also, Rick tells her that, you know, I'm not with him. I'm not with him. And he pretty much reassures that, yeah, I've tried to get home, but, well, I haven't been able to. And then that's when 3 other CRM helicopters come in, and, you know, Rick says that, you know, I need to point my gun at you, and you need to have your hands up, and they need to see that it doesn't look like we know each other. And of course, Michonne, she agrees and trusts Rick. She trusts him enough to go ahead and surrender to the CRM. And then that's when we get the interview process with Michonne, Dana, as she's gonna call herself Dana in the CRM. And she's like, hi, you know, I'm Dana, that I've been alone for a really long time, that me and my boyfriend were in a group in Georgia, which she is half lying and half telling the truth, because, I mean, they were in Georgia, so she said that me and my boyfriend were in Georgia with another group, and my sister Ella, which is the leader of that other group that leaves people to die for no absolute reason. But yeah, see, she's making stuff up on the fly, and it works because the CRM, they welcome her in as Dana, not Michonne, because that's who she's supposed to be in the CRM, right? And during the interview process, you know, there's a mirror off to her side, and she's looking at the mirror, and they're telling her, like, looking at yourself, does it make you uncomfortable? And she's just smiling, and she's like, I just haven't been able to look at myself in a very long time. And she pretty much says that, you know, I've been alone for so long, I've started to hear voices in my head, and someone is on the other side of that mirror. It's a two-way mirror, I believe is what they call it. Like, you know, police stations have them, for example. There's someone on the other side of that room, the other side of that mirror, that's filming the interrogation, but someone turns the camera off. I wonder who that could be. We'll get into that shortly. Oh man, but yeah, someone turns off the interview on the other side of the mirror, but they don't know that the ones that are out there interviewing her, and they pretty much tell her that, you know, that secrecy is above all else. So they're like, you know, you can never leave, and is this sort of place, is that something that you would be okay with? Because, you know, you can never leave that now that you know about us. So she's like, yeah, I think I could fit in here pretty much. And Rick also tells her to hide her leadership, her toughness, because he wants her to pretty much be a bee. That way she isn't sent out there to essentially die. So she's welcomed into the CRM because they believe her bullshit story, which, hey, good on Michonne. She was able to fool them. And after that, we get to the end, and we have shots of Michonne walking around the CRM as a Cassini. I believe that's what they're called. I would think of them more like prisoners, but they're not in jail cells. But they have these coats on, and same thing with Rick. And Rick pretty much sneaks off with Michonne for a moment. That way they can have a lovely, tender moment. And then that's when Michonne finds out that he lost a hand, quote unquote lost a hand. And she says that, is there any way that we could stop them? Any way that we could kill them? And he's like, no, there's no way, because they'll find out. And she assures Rick that we will find a way. We will find a way. So after they have their tender alone moment, Michonne is walking around, you know, as a Cassini. I'm probably going to forget that, honestly. I'll just call him her a prisoner, because that'll be a little bit easier. Even though they're not technically a prisoner, it's kind of like that. Okay, so the end of the episode, you can see someone unlocking an apartment to Rick's apartment. And then we see Michonne looking off into the distance with Nat's lighter, because he has this lighter that he likes to flick. And she figured she would, you know, keep that, which Rick is able to smuggle her the lighter because it, you know, kind of means something to her as a reminder of the short, brief time that she knew Nat. So the episode pretty much is about to end when it's revealed that Jadis, y'all remember Jadis, or what was her other name? I can't remember. I'm gonna call her Jadis. So Jadis pretty much broke into Rick's apartment, although she had a key because she's a high-ranking within the CRM. And Rick gets back to his apartment, and then that's when that's when Rick discovers that Jadis is in her apartment. And just hang on one second. Okay. So Rick comes home back to his apartment to see that Jadis is waiting for him. And here we go. I have the dialogue that is said all by Jadis. Hi, Rick. Sorry for breaking in. Technically, this is an investigation, but I'm not filing paperwork. Let's keep this off the books. Let's continue to keep certain things between you and me as we have. It's been a while. You look good. And this is where Rick looks to the side and he rolls his eyes like, oh, like he doesn't believe that bullshit. But anyway, he looks off to the side, rolls his eyes, and looks back at her. Then she says, it's amazing what's happened. Truly amazing. I mean, in the world of the dead, the living can continue to bump into each other. I can see that, but still, she found you. If anyone could, she could. She was with him, the little one. I mean, of course, it was her sword, but I'm keeping that off the books, just up here. This doesn't fall under our long-standing deal. You have to know, if you try to escape with her, I will make sure all those people that you love die, including a few that I like very much. You have to know that. I'm certain that you do. I've had to do things like that. My hands are already covered in blood. They can't get any bloodier. So I'm guessing Jadis is referencing World Beyond when she says that I've had to do things like that, that her hands are already bloody and they can't get any bloodier. I'm assuming she's referencing World Beyond with that. And she goes on to continue to say, so, I have to ask you this question, Rick, and I'm sorry for the language. You've heard a lot of language from me. Yes, 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 yes. Rick, what the fuck are you doing? And that's how the episode ends right there. So, yeah, Rick and Michonne, as they reunite, they have bigger problems on their hands now. Jadis, who obviously knows Rick and obviously knows Michonne, and yeah, she says that I'm gonna keep it off the books, that it's gonna be up here in her mind, but I have a feeling she's gonna end up spilling the beans, that she's gonna end up squealing. Something's gonna go wrong, and I don't want to say yet, because we're not on episode 3 just yet, but I have a feeling this is a prediction that I have. I think by the time that we get to the season finale of The Ones Who Live, I believe Jadis is going to snitch on Rick and Michonne. I believe that the CRM is going to really know who Michonne is actually Dana. That I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. I think by the time that the season finale comes around, I believe that the CRM is going to know that Dana is actually Michonne. That's my prediction. I could be wrong on that, but what did I say last week? I thought that General Major Beal, Major General Beal, I thought that he was going to be the main antagonist of the show, and he could be like a secondary villain, but now that Jadis has come into the picture, I feel like Jadis is going to be the main villain. Now, I don't know if they're going to do anything after season 1 of The Ones Who Live. Like, I don't know if they're going to make a second season of that. That could just be a 1-season deal. And then maybe they set up something with Rick and all the communities going up against the CRM, or maybe, I don't know how or what they're going to do about that, but I guess we'll find out. Now, I don't think I forgot anything, and if I did, I do apologize. But, yeah, I really quite enjoyed this episode, and one thing I forgot was that, Michonne is like, before she reunites with Rick, she's kind of giving up hope and thinking that if he's tried to get home, why hasn't he? And trust me, oh yeah, he has, but she don't know that. But he pretty much informs her that she's tried to get home, so she can rest there pretty easily. And so yeah, Jadis threatens Rick, and you know what? I don't know if I like Jadis's odds or not. These damn pop-ups. I don't know if I like Jadis's odds or not. It looks scary right now for Rick and Michonne, but oh buddy, when you threaten not only Rick, but also his loved ones, Rick, he will be seeing red. He will absolutely, ooh. I don't like your odds, Jadis, you bitch. Oh, I don't, man. We'll see, but, we will see, man, but, it's exciting. It really is, and next week, we'll get into episode 3, so, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to discuss. I went over the NFL, certainly The Walking Dead, the episode 2 of The Ones Who Live, so, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What's that stupid shit say? I don't care. What? Okay, whatever. I'll just claim this one at a time. But, yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today. And what are your thoughts on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Love? Are you loving it so far? And what are your thoughts on episode 2? And also, what are your thoughts on Jadis coming into the picture? That's a interesting dynamic for sure. I don't know why this message keeps popping up, but okay, you know what? I'll worry about that in a minute. But yeah, just whatever thoughts you have on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Love so far, if you have any good, negative, so comments on the spinoff so far, let me know down below. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. Or if you're new, welcome in for the first time. All of you are very awesome, and I thank you again. And don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. I am Beak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.